Hey friends, welcome to Social Videos. Today I'm going to be making some DIY paper bookmarks. So I've seen people making these on TikTok and I decided to give it a try. They're basically these paper bookmarks that are actually super easy to make and also extremely cute, using it as a bookmark, and we've also got some heart ones that we're going to be making today. These are super simple to make and honestly don't take that long. It honestly just takes a little bit of practice figuring it out the first time and also just having some nice folding origami skills. And as I said, there's a lot of people who've done it on TikTok and kind of done like tutorials on it, but I wanted to make a YouTube video just to show the people that are still kind of struggling following along, because TikToks, are really short, and also just showing my reality on trying to follow those tutorials in this video. Let me know which bookmark ends up being your favorite, and with that, let's just get on with it. So to start, we're going to do the butterfly paper bookmark, which in my opinion is probably my favorite. Get some paper that's the color you want for your butterfly. I'm using cardstock so the bookmark can last a little bit longer, so it's just thicker paper. And I'm going to measure out 12 by 7 centimeters. And once you cut that out, you'll have a rectangular piece of paper and we can start on the origami. So to start, we're going to fold it the long way. I always call this the hot dog fold and the opposite the hamburger fold because, it looks like a hot dog versus a hamburger. We're going to start off with the hot dog fold. It's important to make sure when you're folding an origami that your folds are, lined up correctly. So I am doing a hamburger fold here to follow up, and I'm just making sure that the ends touch and are lined up with each other before creasing down the paper. And to make sure I crease properly, I go over with my fingers and also my nail. And now folding over back into the hamburger fold with the open side downwards, I'm going to look at the middle crease and basically fold in my upper corners. And once you've done the one side, you're going to do the same to the other and fold that corner inwards as well. Once you've folded both corners, we're going to flip it out and fold it the other way. And make sure that on the other side it also lines up with the middle and it should be creasing in the exact same spot. And when you're done that, we're going to actually unfold the corners, and while holding down one side, we're going to open up the other so it looks like a house. When you're done that, we're going to do the same on the other side. So again, you're going to hold down one half, put your finger through the first fold on the other side, and open it up so it looks like a house. Then I'm going to take my ruler and mark down less than a centimeter from both sides. We're then going to take the inner corners on the legs of the house and fold it upwards so that it lines up with where we marked off. The top of the corner should overlap with the roof of the house, so just make sure you're doing that. If you need to adjust your fold, make sure to do that as well and try to line up so both sides are about the same. I also found it really helpful to turn it the other way around and then fold it from there and just kind of slowly bend over the fold and then crease it when it's in the right place. I also like to make sure to use my nails to kind of crease over everything and make sure that I'm making the right fold. And after, you're going to actually fold it the same way on the other side. So once you're done folding that, we're going to actually unfold it and look at the house from the bottom. We're going to take one of the legs and kind of open that up, flatten out the end with the newly crease, and push it inwards as if it's an arrow pointing inwards. And after that, you're just going to do the same to the other side. So again, push it down and in. And your last step is just to take one leg of the house, pull it downwards, and do the same on the other side, and you should be left with a butterfly shape. And if you'll notice on the back of the butterfly, there's a bit of a pocket, and that's where you'd put the corner of the page you're reading. And now you could leave it like this, but I kind of want to go a bit extra and add in some designs on the butterfly. So I myself wanted to go with a monarch butterfly design, so here I am going in with pencil, first drawing out the pattern. I was just looking at a reference of a real monarch butterfly and just tried to make sure that both sides of my wings were symmetrical and looked the same. What helped me with this was also just drawing one thing on one side and then the same thing on the other, just to make sure the drawings looked similar. Once I'm happy with the outline, I'm going to go in with a black pencil crayon and just color in the outlines. For a monarch butterfly pattern, it kind of looks like the color should be just blobs placed on a black background, so I'm just kind of going over my outlines and then filling in the spaces in between. Now this took me a bit of a long time just because I was trying my best to be really careful and to keep everything symmetrical. But once I was done coloring, I went in with an eraser just to clean up some of the lines. And when I was happy with that, I went in with black pencil crayon again and fully pressed down and colored in the lines as dark as I could. And with that, I had a paper butterfly bookmark. Next, I'm going to show you guys how to do the heart bookmark. In my opinion, this bookmark is the easiest and simplest to make. So I'm going to take some pink cardstock or just pink paper if that's all you have and measure out 12 centimeters by 6 centimeters. Then you're going to cut that out and get started on folding. So we're going to start off with a hot dog fold or a fold lengthwise and just make sure that it's lined up properly. And I kind of make sure it's lined up all the way through before I start creasing the ends. And while it's still folded lengthwise, we're going to fold it upwards in half. And then we're going to unfold that half, make sure that the open end of the fold is downwards, and then fold in the corners. Make sure the sides of the ends lines up right with the crease we just made in the middle. And then you're going to do the same to the other side. You should be forming kind of the shape of a house or an arrow. Once you're good with that and you've creased it, we're going to turn it upside down and flip it over. We're then going to take the bottom or the ends of the arrow or house and then fold it downwards. And you want to make it a small sliver. Try to keep it less than or about half a centimeter. You're going to do it to both sides. When you fold the pieces down, make sure that they're about the same size. If they're not, which they are not here, my strategy to fix this is to kind of take my nail and kind of re-crease where I want to fold everything and then fold it over and hope that the size is a little bit more fitting. I also like to turn it around and then crease from the back of the fold. And with that, the folds should be about the same size. And that's basically going to be the top of our hearts. And now obviously the top of a heart is curved, so we're going to have to fold in the inner corners of the heart. So with this, again, I'm just using my nail to kind of crease because we don't want to make it too big of a fold, but we do want to match the two sides together, which I'm trying to do here. And if again they aren't the same size, I'm going to do the same strategy as using my nail to kind of re-crease everything and then fold it so that it looks similar. Once you're done the inner corners, we're going to do the outer corners of the heart to make it into a kind of a geometrically curved heart shape. And once you're happy with how it looks, that's your heart bookmark. And you're going to see that on the back of the heart, there's a bit of a pocket, and that's where you put the corner of the page you're reading. And so next, I'm going to teach you guys how to make the heart bookmark with angel wings. So this is essentially the same thing as the heart bookmark, but just a little bit more extra. So to start off, we're going to make another heart bookmark, which is exactly the same as I taught in the previous part of this video. Once you have your heart, I'm actually going to take some white piece of paper or white cardstock paper and kind of measure out the distance of my wings. I end up settling at around 6 centimeters, so I measured that on both sides of the heart and then made a width of about 3 centimeters and cut that out. Once I made sure I was happy with that size, I started to fold. And so my first step is to fold it down in half, making sure that everything is lined up, then creasing. And then on one end, I'm going to fold in the corner to make kind of a triangle. Then on the other end, on the same side that I folded on, I'm going to fold down that corner as well. So in the end, your piece of paper should have one long side and one shorter side. And then I'm going to go in with an accordion fold. We're going to start off with the longest side of the paper and just kind of fold down about 0.5 centimeters of width, and just make sure that width is the same all the way down throughout your fold, and then you can crease it. And with the paper facing the other way, we're going to fold downwards and then make another fold of the same width. In the end, it should look like an accordion, or looking at it from kind of the side of the paper, it should look like an accordion in a zigzag pattern. The pattern that you can kind of follow while you're folding is to fold down, then flip it over, fold up, flip it over, and fold down, and you want to keep the width of your folds the same. And so your piece of paper now should be really thin and kind of folded over multiple times, and you can kind of stretch it out and see that it makes a kind of winged layered effect. Now my plan is to glue these wings onto the back of the heart to make the angel wings effect, so I'm kind of just taking the middle, scrunching it up, and trying to flatten out the ends. Now to glue the wings on, I kind of kept the piece of paper flat where it would attach to the wings, and then kind of folded upwards so that the wings would still be flat looking at it straight on. This might need a bit of adjusting, but as long as you can figure out a way to have the paper flat on the heart, but then also have the wings show properly on the front of the heart, then you're good to go. And I'm going to use a glue stick to glue down the middle, and make sure that you're gluing behind the pocket so that you're still able to put in the page for your bookmark. Now holding that down, when the glue dries, it should stick properly, but there is still, of course, the wings and it just staying together because of a fold, so I'm going to actually glue that down as well. Once that dries, the white piece of paper should be scrunched up in the middle. You can kind of fold out your wings, and there you have it. And just as an extra step to flatten out my bookmarks, I pressed them between some books. And with that, you have your final result of your paper bookmarks. I honestly thought this went really well, and once I figured out how to fold one, it was so much more easier to fold others. So feel free to make one for a friend or even for yourself. And there you have it, paper DIY bookmarks.